live? Are we live? Are we live? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heat Check live beat review show right here on YouTube. I want to thank all the producers out there for submitting your beats this week. We definitely got a full house tonight. I want to I want to make sure. I want to see if I can get this thing activated. Okay, I'll activate it next show. All right. Anyway, welcome to the welcome to the Heat Check live beat review show right here on YouTube. Sorry, I got a lot of different things going on, guys. Welcome to the Heat Check live beat review show. We're here. Can you believe it's another Friday? Can you believe it's another Friday? Man, time flies, especially when you're having fun. So yeah, once again, I want to give a shout out to all the producers who submitted their beats on this week's Heat Check show. Definitely glad to have you here. So, just kicking things off, getting right to it. If you're here at the Heat Check, you might be wondering, who is this guy? Why is he talking? What makes him qualified to give me feedback as a producer? Well, my name is Desmond A. I've been producing music for over 12 years now. Have placements, different TV shows, different networks, E-Television, Sci-Fi Channel, what else? E-Television, Sci-Fi, Bravo, different documentaries. I've recorded artists in the studio. I've worked at studios. I've interned at one of the biggest studios in Atlanta. Sold beats online. Sold some beats last week, as a matter of fact, 2 weeks ago. Yes. So I've done quite a bit, been a few places, so I have a lot of perspective to give you guys as producers, a lot of free game to give you guys as producers. So that's what qualifies me to give you guys this game. All right. So what's going on? What's going on, chat? Shout out to you. Shout out to you in the chat. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I see you. So yeah, the Heat Check, the format. So how does the Heat Check work? So here at the Heat Check, what happens, you go ahead and submit your beats at the end of the stream. As soon as the stream ends, I open up the free form for you to submit for next Friday's show. And once the show starts, well, the form actually closes at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we go ahead and close the free form. And then from there, it's the $10 VIP Skip the Line. So the free form is closed right now. VIP Skip the Line if you want to get your beats on this week's show. If not, you can wait till the end of the stream. The free form will open. Then I'll get you for next Friday's show. And speaking of next Friday's show, guys, next Friday is the 1 year anniversary of the Heat Check, man. That's crazy. It's crazy that a whole year's gone by and I've been here, giving you guys a game for pretty much a year now, almost every week, essentially. So yes, I'm definitely happy about that. So make sure you join next Friday's show. I'm going to come up with a few ideas for next Friday's show, liven it up. Probably going to give out some prizes and things like that. So if you like prizes, you like free game, make sure you join the Heat Check next Friday's show for the 1 year celebration, man. That's crazy, guys. So yes, the format here at the Heat Check, we don't snap, we don't roast. This is essentially like a dojo. You guys ever been to a dojo? You ever been to a boxing gym or something like that? Does your sensei, does your boxing coach ever say, man, that was a whack jab, or that knee strike was terrible? No. They slow you down. They say, wait a minute, young whippersnapper, you want to twist your hip when you throw that jab. You want to close the distance when you throw that jab. When you're doing a knee strike, you want to pop your hip a little bit. They gave you real actionable steps on how you can improve. So if you're with that, make sure you stay tuned to the Heat Check, because that's what we do. We don't snap, we don't roast. We give you real actionable steps. We're going to give it to you directly. We're going to give it to you with firmness and love to help you grow as a producer. So if you like that, make sure you keep staying tuned to the Heat Check. What's going on? We got Yolando and we got Millie in the building. What's going on? All right, guys. So yeah, that's pretty much it for getting started here. Let's go ahead and get to the FL Studio screen. Bam. All right. Here we go. Got quite a few submissions this week. All right. That's what I was looking for. I'm looking for my sound effects, wanted to start the show off right. There we go. Clap for yourselves. Clap for yourselves, family. All right. So here we go, guys. Starting off the show right, we have Monly with Call 911. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen.
It's Moan.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Monly with Call 911. He's saying Call 911 because my beats are too fire. So shout out to you, Monly, and thank you so much for your submission right here on the Heat Check. We got Monly in the chat too, as a matter of fact. Shout out to you, Monly. Thank you so much for joining the stream. All right. So, Monly, with that beat, man, good beat. It has that edge. It reminds me of the first person I thought of. First I thought about Playboi Carti, then I thought about possibly Kendrick, which kind of sounds, people might be like, what kind of direction is that? But I'm thinking about people like Cardo Got Wings, so it kind of has that kind of vibe to it, at least to a certain extent. Kind of has that vibe to it. So that's what I was getting from it. As far as constructive feedback here, one thing that I was getting was just that super loudness. I know this is a thing a lot of producers are doing these days, just letting your sounds just kind of distort. I could hear this going on here. So try to give yourself some headroom so that way the beat doesn't like sound so smushed together. Give yourself some headroom. Let your sounds, have some separation, so that way things don't start to like blur together, especially like the low end, and then some of your instruments can kind of blur together with all that distortion going on. Is my mic loud enough, guys? Let me make sure my mic is loud. Testing. Okay, we're good. Another thing I was hearing was in the beat, there was a section that you switched the beat up. It was pretty cool, but I feel like we needed to make it more focused. So let me. Okay, on second listen, it didn't throw me off. It didn't throw me off. Just watch your loudness so that way your sounds can be felt more and it doesn't have that overcooked over loudness to it, so we can really feel the music more the way you want it to be felt. But yeah, either way, thank you so much for submitting your beat this week, Molly. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Moving forward, we have CS Dillinger and a tool with Lex God. All right, all right, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right, all right, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was CS Dillinger and a tool with Lex Guy. Shout out to you. And you are welcome only on the beat in the chat. You are welcome. You are so much welcome. All right. CS Dillinger and a tool. So that beat, I believe you had a submission last week. I believe it was just much more musical than that beat. I know you have this sound that has like a lot of synths and things like that in there. And the thing is, if we're gonna work with like a lot of synths and this hard bass, there's a certain it's like a certain ugly prettiness that can be achieved when people are creating that style of production. And in this, I was hearing dissonance in your chords, like some of the chords were not quite coming in musically pleasing. Then also, I believe the second note in your bass may have been off key. I would have to pitch up things an octave to really hear it. And, you know, I just don't want to do that right now. But that the bass, you know, it's just, I just had a lot of dissonance in that beat. So with that sound, try to achieve ugly prettiness, and just there was too much. There's too many elements in there that was making me uncomfortable. But it's like I wanted the redeeming quality, and the redeeming quality of these style of beats tends to be its musicality. Like, oh, it's hard sense, but it's happening to pull me into the certain type of musical direction. And unfortunately, it didn't do that in this beat. So watch the chord progressions, watch the bass, and also watch the harshness of all those resonant sounds in your synths. I recommend listening to your idols, people you look up to music production wise with this style, and listen critically to how they're putting together their beats, not only production wise, but also listen to their mixes. How are they treating their synths? What are they doing to the high mids of their synths to keep it pleasing to the ear? You know, can you look at any tutorial videos of them making their beats and just pull away little tips and tricks? One thing about producers, a lot of times we like to feel like we have all the answers, especially if we've been doing it for a while. But I tell people all the time, I had an interview with Ben Mari produced for Big X The Plug, Finesse Two Times. He produced for a lot of people. He was on my Made in the Studio podcast, which you guys can, of course, check out on my YouTube channel. And he mentioned that to this day, if he has beat block, he'll go in and make another producer's beats, and that'll help him get the energy flowing. So, we can all take away that lesson as producers. We're never bigger than the program. We're all forever students. So, just keep that in the back of your head as you continue to grow as a producer. But once again, thank you so much for your submission this week. All right. Oh, looks like Yolando liked the beat. Okay, so shout out to you. All right, looks like we got another submission here. C.S. Dillinger and Atul. This one is Untitled. All right, gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was C.S. Dillinger and Atul with Untitled. All right. Thank you so much for your submission. Thank you so much for submitting on the Heat Check. Now, C.S. Dillinger, that's oddly enough exactly what I was talking about. You actually nailed it on the head with that beat. That beat, again, had it's like an artistic discomfort that happens. It's like I'm hearing all these synths that's happening and it may not land. But then as the beat just starts the first few seconds, it's like a type of relief that happens. And I'm like, yes. Then the chords come in, and then I like all the little melodic elements that you had going on. So that exemplifies what I was talking about. So yeah, man, you nailed that one. I could hear an R&B artist on that. I can hear somebody like possibly Lil Tecca on it, possibly. As far as feedback, the only thing I'm thinking is just mix-wise, trying to give you more depth and clarity in the mix. I know it's challenging because you have so much going on, and those synths take up so much of the stereo range. It can be challenging. So I just want you looking at possibly like different EQ, look at different EQ tutorials, just to create more space. One thing I like to tell a lot of producers is that whenever we're mixing, sometimes one element has to lose slightly for another element to win slightly. And I think with these synths, it can be real tricky. So you might have to do little dip tricks here and there with the synths, and then do some little panning tricks to open up more space. And I think as you do that, we can get more depth. So, maybe you could listen to, what's that man's name? I don't want to say, I'm going to say Calvin Harris or Diplo. certain producers have a synth heavy sound, and I want you to just A and B your stuff next to those producers and listen for the mix. Listen, okay, how are they able to do that? And then once you ask that questions, think and search for ways to achieve that in your music. And it's not always just a super expensive plugin that maybe people get sponsored for. I've fallen into that trap. I'll tell you guys I'm guilty of that, especially when I was doing a lot more recording of artists. It's like this one plugin is going to fix all these problems and make everybody happy. So don't fall into that trap. You can do a lot on your own with stock plugins. As a matter of fact, that's how my FL Studio Patcher plugins are made. They're made from stock plugins. So guys, you can check out here on my channel, I believe pinned to the stream is some of my FL Studio Patcher plugins. You can get those here. And then also I have my FL Super Clipper, which is free. It's a better version of the soft clipper. I'll put my reputation behind that. You can get that at DesmondASounds.com for free. So yeah, so shout out to you. Shout out to you, CS Dillinger. Great beat, great beat. All right. Moving forward, we have Millie Beats. All right, Millie Beats with Shoreline. Is Millie Beats in the chat? Millie Beats, I believe Millie Beats is not in the U.S., so his time zone is a little different, but he's able to make it a lot of the time, so I definitely appreciate that. So without further ado, let's get into Millie Beats with Shoreline. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you bad.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Millie Beats with Shoreline. Shout out to you, Millie Beats, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Oh, we got Millie in the chat. Shout out to you, Millie. Okay, so Millie. Okay, well, I don't know why I thought Millie, you were okay. I thought I just got my times mixed up. All right, we got you getting some love in the chat, Millie Beats. Shout out to you. All right, now Millie Beats, man, that beat and the sound selection was really good. Once again, every show, I always got to bust you out. You know, guys, Millie Beats made this on FL Studio Mobile. That's right. Mobile device. He's able to make productions, you know, this quality. And I say that to just say that technology has gotten so good that we're able to make music production quality that high. So a lot of people out there making excuses. Hey man, download FL Studio Mobile, watch a tutorial or two or 3 or 4. You're probably gonna have to watch a lot of tutorials to learn how to use it. But yeah, you can get quality production out of your mobile device. So, you know, that's what that is, man. It's just crazy times we're living in, man. But yeah. So yeah, Millie Beats, if I played that beat in the studio, I wouldn't know that it was made on FL Studio Mobile, and I say that definitely as a compliment. Now, to feedback, one thing about this beat, it had a nice, cool, laid-back vibe, laid-back groove, kind of in the cut. But when I was closing my eyes and kind of putting myself in the position of a recording artist, one thing that I was thinking of was like when does it kind of get a little more energy? When does it get a little more like it felt like the beat felt like it was telling a story, and then as the story was going on, I was kind of waiting for more of a like I want to say more of a climax, but more of a higher point. Like the beat was growing, 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 and then it went back. I want the beat to grow, 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 hit that high point, and then get back. So almost felt like I wanted you to like add a little more, like a 16th note hi-hat, or maybe 16th or 8th, and then maybe add a snare just to like get us into like this is the part where the rapper gets serious. And then that's the hook. Then we pull away, then we get back to that smooth bounce. So Millie Beats, definitely try to freestyle to your beats, rap to your beats, do all that good stuff, and that can help give you direction. That helps to give me direction all the time, man. I'm telling you guys, that goes a long way. That's one of the biggest compliments that I get from artists, especially my R&B stuff, is Desmond, thank you so much for having your beats so easy to write to. So that's the thing. We want this to be a nice, easy thing to write to, and freestyling, rapping, singing over our beats is definitely a great way to do that. So yeah, once again, shout out to you, Millie Beats. Thank you so much for your submission. All right, moving forward, we have Millie Beats once again. We got Millie Beats once again in the building with Moonlight. All right. And you are welcome, Millie Beats. I'm going to go ahead and play your second beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
God damn, Millie, you bad. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Millie Beats with Moonlight. All right. Thank you so much for your submission this week. Second submission this week, Millie. All right. Millie, cool vibe, cool bounce. Definitely wasn't as coherent of a musical vibe and a coherent as a musical story as the first beat that you submitted. The first beat was like I could see myself in like the nighttime, and I could see like the darkness. Maybe I'm like driving down some type of street in LA or something like that. This one definitely had a couple things that was poking out in not quite such a musical way. One of the first things that I noticed was the piano sound that you had going. especially towards the beginning, that piano sound, it just felt like it was on top of the music and not with the music. So let's go ahead and pull that sound down and make sure it blends well. One trick you can do is, since you're doing things on mobile, try kind of listening to your beat back. If you have like a decent iPhone, listen to your beat back on the iPhone and then listen if certain elements are poking out a little too much. You don't want to use the iPhone as really too much of a reference, but just listen, play it back and say, oh, that sound was poking out way too much. If you get that reaction, then go ahead and pull that sound down if you just play it out loud on your iPhone. The other thing was those high-pitched 808s that you added in there. Do, do, do. Those sounded like they might have been out of key, like a half step. Let's watch that. I always tell you guys to pitch up your 808s, just kick them up an octave in the piano roll. Listen, the human ear responds much easier to higher frequencies. And then if it sounds like it's in key when it's almost like a bell, then just put it back down until it's regular octave, and it's going to be much easier to tell, okay, that sounds right, that doesn't sound right. Also, you have this little chop that dun, 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 dun. It's like you should have did that 3 times. Only heard it like dun, 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 dun. My ears and the groove was waiting for like that third time. Dun, 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 dun. Like I wanted that, and so it felt a little bit awkward. It felt a little bit out of place. We definitely want to watch those chops, because it's like if we don't nail it, then it's almost like we could kind of feel like, okay, why was that put there? You know, I've been in positions where I've had like little strange chops in other producers' beats when I've been recording artists, and I'm in Pro Tools and I just hack it off, draw back the wave file, and just do my own chops. So, you know, watch the chop. But yeah, other than that, great work, great job, man. Keep grinding, keep elevating. And yeah, like Yolando says in the chat, man, like once you get a laptop, you're going to be out of here. So shout out to you, Millie B. Shout out to you. All right. There we go. Moving forward, we have, all right, here we go. Yolando, YDP Yolando. This one is Ethereum. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was YDP Yolando with Ethereum. Shout out to you, Yolando, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Yolando, one thing I was hearing, well, first let me start by saying this. The actual main part of your beat itself
is structured well for a recording artist. So some producers can do a whole lot of stuff. We can get in here and all go crazy. Oh, there's fire. Oh, we can all go crazy and stuff like that as producers, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to respond well for a recording artist. And the way that the main part of your beat is going here is going to be easy for an artist to actually make a song to that core part of the beat. The first thing that I noticed about the beat was the kick being loud. And that's a mistake that I used to make myself too, having the kick just loud to the point that it's imbalanced from the rest of the beat. You want to pull that kick down and have everything much more balanced with each other. Because the thing is, a lot of times we want our kick to hit hard and be powerful, and we do that by making it louder. Now, you could be using your studio monitors, your speakers, in a room where all the bass is just dissipating all over the place, so it's hard for you to really hear how loud it is. If that's happening, make sure you get some good headphones like these. These are like my go-to. These are the Sony MDR 7506. I let artists record with these. I use these when I'm checking my mixes. These are like my core ones. So yeah, I would definitely check out and get some good headphones if that'll help. You guys can, I believe there's a link to Zounds. So if you guys want to get headphones like these, you want to do it, you can just buy it straight up, or Zounds allows a no credit check payment plan. Whatever you want to do, the link is in the description. Yes, so kind of watch your kick. And one thing that I do with the kick is, I apologize, guys. Are you guys hearing my Discord thing? Let me close that out. All right. One thing I like to do with my kick, and I tell a lot of you guys this, is I use my kick as an anchor point. And what do I mean by that? So if I have my kick going, and I'm not going to do it this time. And let's just say my kick is hitting around 12 in my mixer, right? I know that all my sounds that I'm going to pull up in my beat, the guitar, the hi-hat, everything is going to reference around the negative 12 point. So I never move it. Once I get my kick going and I'm feeling it and it's hitting 12, maybe I add a little compressor, maybe I don't. I just look and make sure, okay, it's right there around 12. That thing ain't moving. So if I add a snare, if I add a hi-hat, if I add a pad, and I'm listening and I'm like, why do things feel off? I know no matter what, my kick is my North Star, and that's the main point. So that's the main thing that I know to balance the rest of my sounds around. And if this kick starts to disappear, I know, okay, I need to jump in here. I need to go ahead and open up the parametric EQ, because something in my beat is clouding that up. Is it a string? Is it a sample? Is it a piano? I'm gonna go in there, do a little sweep. Okay, why is my kick not punching hard? Bam. Okay, I know I need to do a little dip. Okay, now my kick is back punching hard, and it's right there at that 12. Does that make sense? That's like you're on a GPS, you're all over the place. You're like, dang, where am I at? I can't see where I'm at. Then you hit that button. That's what I use my kick for. So hopefully that tip will help you out as far as volume balancing, so your kick isn't like disproportionately louder than everything else. What's going on, Unknown Architect? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for joining the chat. All right. Also YDP, Yolando. Another thing that I was hearing was that switch up that you did. The beat was going good, then you like did a little like pitch shift thing. It was kind of like you doing like a breakdown. That shift, when you switch the beat up, it just felt a little awkward. It didn't really add to the music. It kind of felt like, where are we going? And that threw off the vibe. So I would continue off the main part of the beat and then just add to it, explore. Once again, talk to yourself, rap to yourself out loud, even if it's a verse from, Lil Durk or whatever, whoever one of your favorite artists is, and then that's going to help you structure the beat and make things much easier. So yes, go ahead and do that, and you'll be good to go. So shout out to you. All right.
You're very much welcome. All right. And it looks like you got another submission this week. All right. So, moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, we have YDP Yolando with Cold. All right. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So, let's go ahead and take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was YDP Yolando with Cold. Shout out to you, YDP, and thank you so much for submitting your beat. Now, there's one thing I wanted to hear in this beat one more time. Just give me a second, guys. Let's listen. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Just wanted to hear something. So, YDP Yolando. One thing I was hearing in this beat, this is one of the first things that I heard. It's like I heard your kick, then it's almost like your kick disappeared once the beat started playing. It's like we had this kick here, right there. I think your kick, now that I listen to it again, it sounds like that kick doesn't quite have enough power behind it. And now that I listen to that kick and your previous kick, it sounds like your kick has a lot of character, a lot of top end, but you need like a kick with a little more low end, a little more body. One that's not just top end character, one that really has like some chest to it. So one thing is, once you find a kick that you like, that doesn't necessarily mean that there's not another kick in your library to add to that kick, to turn that kick that you like into a kick that you love. And that's one habit that I used to have. I used to be making beats. I'm like, man, that kick has good character. Let me keep going. All right, the beat is almost done. Boom, sounds cool. Let me move on. And I didn't realize the power of stacking my kicks. And one thing you want to do if you do stack your kicks is you want to be aware of the pitch. So if you have a kick, like let's just say you're going to keep that kick and there's another kick you want to add to it, and you're going through your sounds, you're just sifting through, and you hear an additional kick that you play, you think, okay, this might go. I'm just going to find a random kick here. You play an additional kick. Let's say let's say you play this kick, you're like, okay, that might go with it, but it can really go with it if you play with where it's at pitch wise. So you can do that on the piano roll, and you can also do that in like the little pitch knob to fine tune things. So you have a kick that you like, go through your sounds. Okay, this check. Let me find one with a little more body. Okay, that kick has a good body. Let's say you want to use that kick with your kick. Don't say to yourself, okay, it doesn't quite go perfectly. It might be like 80% there. If it's 80% there, you can always come here. Let me make sure you guys can see my screen. Okay. You can always go here, mess with this pitch knob, and this kick might sound really good like that in conjunction with the kick that you have. So play the beat back, whatever beat that you're making. Ooh, right there. I do that all the time. I'm making a beat. I'm like, the beat is good, but it needs a little more body on the kick. And I'm like, this kick could go. It's about 75% there. And then I just pitch it down, make sure it goes right in line with the main kick that I'm using, the kick with all the character. And then it just makes an okay kick to a great kick. And I think that power that you're looking for, stacking your kicks, is going to keep you from making your kicks so loud. So you need to just stack the kicks. And this is a way that you can do that to really dial it in. So yes, I'm giving away all my secrets, but we family, so it's all good. Shout out to you. All right. Let's see my notes here. Okay, yes, another note I have here, YDP, is the switch up. You had another switch up. This switch up, the second beat, this switch up that you have here, I'm not mad at it. Like I felt the beat. It didn't feel so awkward, but it did still feel a bit like, okay, where are we going with it? And to me, it felt like these two should have been two separate beats. So I'm not quite sure what you're doing with the switch ups. It sounds like maybe you're just experimenting, you're just having fun making beats, but kind of figure out if you're going to decide that you want to put this in a song structure, how you want to do things, the intro, the verse, the hook, the second verse, the hook, any type of bridge, kind of figure that out. And then I think you might start to find yourself taking out those switch ups, because it's just like they're kind of like disconnected. It's like how can I do an analogy? It's almost like this when it should be like this. It should flow together. Doop, the beat, and then doop, we go into the switch up. Nice flow up, and we're into the breakdown. And now it's kind of like disjointed. It doesn't quite flow. They're separated. It's almost feel like two separate beats. So hopefully that makes sense. Shout out to you, YDP Yolando, and thank you so much for coming to the heat check, man. All right. Moving forward, we have TREP World, Trep World. Okay. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I'll apologize. I apologize if I didn't. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get free loops, free FL Studio Patch It plugins. My FL Super Clipper is goated. And free guides. I have guides on mixing, using Pro Tools. If you guys want to work in studios, you're going to need to know Pro Tools. Have my personal shortcuts that I've used that save me. I have a lot of great stuff on the website, so go there, check it out, and level up. DesmondASounds.com. Yes, you are welcome. You are welcome, Yolando. I try my best to go in depth as possible. Guys, if you want to go in even more depth, if you looked at the pinned comment, I do have some space for one-on-one coaching calls So if you guys want to do that, you can click the link in the description. Excuse me, the link, yes, in the description as well, or in the pinned comment. So you can just go to DesmondASounds.com and you'll see the link to book a one-on-one coaching call. We can hop on Zoom. We can talk about branding, beat sales, making beats, whatever you guys want. Check me out, DesmondASounds.com. We can hop on a Zoom. All right, moving forward, we have Trap World with Ruby Rax. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Trap World with Ruby Rax. Shout out to you, Trap World, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Trap World. Okay. That beat had a lot of good energy to it. You know, when it first came in, I got really excited about it. Just had good energy. It felt inviting. It told me like listen to this beat, pay attention to this beat. If I was doing something, this beat would catch my ear. I'm like, okay, where's this beat going? That being said, this beat has a lot of potential to it, but there's a couple things in there that's kind of just throwing it off. One is the sound selection, like that main sine, woo, woo, that main sound like sine wave. That sound, it kind of has a lot of, it feels stock. It has like a stock feel. And I just want something with like just better texture than that. It throws things off. So, you know, hopefully maybe you have something like Serum, Pigments. I'm a fan of Pigments. I use Pigments. I want to say Omnisphere. Omnisphere is kind of like doing too much, at least for me. Maybe I'm tripping, but yeah, try to find another sound other than that. Just look through your VSTs and hopefully you can find something a bit better. Another thing that was happening in the beat, it felt distorted and like the sounds were like smashed. And it looks like, yes, I'm just seeing things hacked off. So I couldn't even really hear the low end, like the actual bass, due to the fact that things just sounded like you were just driving everything into the master. Like if I got in your DAW, 9 times out of 10, I'm telling you, I'm probably gonna see a whole bunch of red right around this area right there, just a whole bunch of red. So we want to work on giving yourself headroom and giving your music the ability to breathe, having the sounds live in their own space and really impacting the listener. Because right now you have good composition, but the actual mixed is like just over fried. That's the only way I can call it. It's fried. It's overly distorted. You know, it's almost like watching a movie and you're liking the movie, but maybe the brightness on the in the movie is too high. You're like, you know, you're trying to look at the movie, like it looks like a good movie, but for some reason the director just they left the brightness on high, and I, I I'm trying to make out the movie. Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Ah, dang, I wish the director didn't leave the brightness so high so I could really enjoy this. So that's what's happening with the mix. It's like, man, I'm trying to enjoy this, but it's like it's distorting and it's crushing the ingredients, and we want to not do that. We want to have some breathing room, and then we want to make the music powerful, not loud and harsh. I was talking to another producer, my Made in the Studio podcast, Darrell Banks. You guys check out his episode. On my podcast tab, check out the Darrell Banks episode, podcast Made in the Studio episode. And we talked about the mixing, and then he mentioned that he's noticing that producers are just making beats, not really doing much on the mixer, and then just exporting it. And I think that's the thing that's just happening now, is producers just cooking up beats and then just letting it distort and then just exporting it. So it looks like it's finally clicking for me why I've been hearing that for so many people. So shout out to Darrell Banks for pointing that out. That's what's happening. Everything is distorting here in the mixer. So yeah, once you get that fixed, we should be good to go, man. You have a lot of potential. Again, just those things would just throw me off. But shout out to you. Shout out to you. There we go. All right, there you go. Shout out to you, Trevor. Thank you so much for your submission. All right. Moving forward, we have Trep World with Trep and EU. Okay, so this one is untitled. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
I don't give a fuck. It makes me sleep good at night. That's what. Good at night. That's what.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Trep World with Untitled, Untitled. All right, so shout out to you, Trep World, and thank you so much for your second submission tonight. Now, Trep World, that beat was very. It was just the word I came up with was uncomfortable. You know, I felt like I got pulled into this bag of synths, and I was waiting for things to kind of pull me in and take me into a nice musical direction. Um, but things just felt dissonant. There was no real melodic story that was being told. It just felt like a bunch of stuff was put into a beat form. Speaking of that, it's just dissonant. Things were clashing, and it didn't create like an ugly prettiness like I always speak about in a lot of my streams. It just felt uncomfortable, and it didn't have the some type of artistic release that kind of like made me like, okay, this was all worth it. So I'm just not quite sure where that was going musically. I mentioned to one of the previous submitters that when we're doing stuff with a lot of synths, one thing that tends to make it so interesting is when it the melody and the chords take us places emotionally, sonically, feel wise. It's like all these synths are here and it's so musical. It's kind of like almost feels like, I'm not trying to sound weird, but it kind of feels like I'm floating into the music. And that I wasn't able to get that because there was so much clashing and things just bumping into each other and just stuffing the music. So yeah, I really don't know too much what else to say about that beat. Let's try to work on like a melodic storyline, musical storyline. Where are you trying to take us with what you have in this music, and what impact are you trying to have? Because once again, this one just felt like a lot of stuff. But I definitely, of course, felt the first one. This second one didn't really take me anywhere. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that feedback, man. Thank you so much for your submission. And please continue to join us right here on the Heat Check. All right, moving forward, we have Spinvich, Just Add Water. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Sorry about that. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Spinach with Just Add Water. All right. Now, Spinach, man, that took me places, man. You know what it reminded me of is like reminded me of like that older Timbaland vibe, that sexy back, sexy future love sounds era, and maybe even a little bit before that. You just had like those little old school Timbaland little
note key things that you had going on, just messing around with the melody. Um, when it first started, I didn't quite know where we were taking the beat, but as the beat kept going, I definitely enjoyed that. You get an air horn for that, man. I was even hearing Jay-Z on that, like sometimes Jay-Z would do like those little mashup type of songs. I could definitely hear that. As far as constructive feedback, the only thing I could really think of is okay, I was hearing this as maybe possibly like some type of sync, like putting this on some type of TV show, possibly kind of like as a cool little break part, and like where people are watching the show and they're like, oh man, it's kind of an interesting beat that they got going on. Because as far as structure goes, I'm not quite sure like how an artist would get on something like that unless it'll be like a freestyle where they just, kicking their stuff, kicking their rhymes, singing over the beat and not really having a structure. That could work, especially for that type of beat. But yeah, other than possible structure for an actual song, man, that was a good beat, man. I really can't. I really don't hear nothing else about it. I don't want to be nitpicky, but I think I heard one thing. Let's see. It's like something was going. No, it's fine. I was gonna say I heard a little bit too much compression, but I think it actually works. So you're good to go, man. Shout out to you. All right. Moving forward, we have another submission here by Spinvich. I believe it's Spinvich. Okay, with It's a Beat, I guess. All right. So let's go ahead and play this beat. I'm gonna mute my mic and give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Spinvich with It's a Beat, I guess. Shout out to you, Spinvich, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Spinvich, man, you have an interesting sound, and it's starting to be coherent. Like I can hear what your actual sound is. And one thing that I'm actually hearing, if you do decide that you want to work with recording artists, is I'm hearing like a rock hip hop type of fusion act. So if you can find some artists who kind of do that, like they just have this, like, just look for that, a rock hip hop type of act. Someone who, what's the name? Nah, that wouldn't work. Uh, I don't want to say Insane Clown Posse. I don't want to. I'm not quite sure. But if I say rock hip hop fusion act, hopefully you know what I mean. And it sounds like you could be like an in-house producer for a certain act because your sound is so distinct and it's coherent, but it's different enough for me to know which beat or which song that I'm on. So if you keep at it, you keep hitting people up, maybe even post type beats, people can find you that way. I could definitely see you producing somebody's entire project where someone's like, okay, we want to give you this much for this many beats and let's do that. And I could definitely see someone doing that. Monly Beats in the chat says your beats work for an ad too. I was actually hearing a car commercial in my head when certain parts when I was hearing that. It's like jump into the new, BMW so and so. I was hearing that at certain parts of the beat. So you can even get into sync, Once again, I'm hearing sync. So I believe there's someone named Clint Music on YouTube. He talks a lot about sync. And there's another person who talks a lot about sync. I have sync placements, but I don't know. Sometimes I get in my own way. But yeah, definitely check them out. Reach out to artists. I could definitely see you producing an entire project. Kind of similar to Dancing Maine. It's another producer here. He has his own distinct sound. So yes, it's going to make you hard to replace. And that's definitely what we need, especially as technology gets better and better. So once again, thank you so much for your submissions. All right, moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, we have JVN World with Nothing. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was JVN World with Nothing. Shout out to you, JVN World, and thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, JVN World. I like the kick. I like the fact that you had a lot of space in the beat for an artist. You didn't do too much in this beat, so it's gonna leave a lot of room. Now, one thing I heard was the first thing that jumped out to me is that the main melody just felt really, really repetitive. It didn't really take me anywhere, and its repetition didn't do anything for me musically where I really liked it. So it just felt like, okay, where's this melody going? So we need to work on the melody. I'm just not quite sure what you can really do with this because it sounds like almost like some type of short part of a loop. If this is some type of loop that you're chopping up, don't be afraid to click around in the loop and see if you can find like other parts that can make a nice chord progression that doesn't just feel like dun, 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 dun. Maybe there was another part in this loop that went like dun, 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 dun. Maybe something like that was there. You just cut it off. So, look for the melody to kind of take you somewhere. And one thing I was thinking about when I was listening to this beat, for some reason I thought about Lil Yachty. So I don't know if you do listen to a lot of Lil Yachty, but kind of listen to some of his stuff. And even if it's repetitive, listen to certain things that are with it. What's going on in spite of it being repetitive? What else is going on? Where's the melody really going? How's Lil Yachty's voice playing off of what's going on in the instrumental? And listening to music as a student is going to take you far, because a lot of times we start making music because we're such fans of music, and we like, okay, I want to make beats like this person, I want to make beats like that person. Like one of my main inspirations for music production would probably be like Kanye, early Kanye, College Dropout Kanye, that type of era was really like one of my main inspirations. But I didn't really start listening to music as a student until later. Even after I started making music, I just was like, I just got these tools and I want to make something. So listen to music as a student and really listen. What's happening there? What's going on in that melody? And how can I incorporate that into my music production? Another thing I was hearing is it sounded like the 808 was out of key at certain parts. So once again, please pitch your 808s up an octave or two. Listen, make sure they sound like they sound good, because it's easy for us to hear like bells and stuff. And then if it sounds good, drop it down an octave. And if you need to drop it down another octave, make sure everything is totally locked in, because some of those 808s were out of key. But just look out for that, please. All right. Shout out to you, JVN World. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Moving forward, we have Voteezy Fosheezy. All right, Voteezy. Thank you so much for your submission this week. Let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and then give my feedback. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Volteezy, man. Volteezy came through kicking in the building. I had to hit him with one of these. Damn! Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man. Volteezy kicked the door in with that one. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. All right. So, Volteezy, man, that's what I'm talking about when I talk about those switch ups, man. If you're going to do a switch up, it has to add. It's almost like a tension was created. And then after the tension was created, then we got the payoff. And you definitely, you nailed it, man. Just right on the head. You nailed it. As far as constructive feedback, one thing I was hearing at the first part of the beat, that piano sound that you had was a little loud in certain parts. It kind of made the beat feel a little imbalanced. So watch that grand piano sound that you have. Sounds like you might want to take it down just like a couple notches. Cause it felt like it could possibly interfere with like a rapper making a song to it. But yeah, man, that's this second beat, man. I could hear Finesse 2 Times just snapping on the switch up over here, man. You know, this really feels like it could be 2 separate beats. An artist probably will want the engineer to split this somehow and probably make something like the outro. I'm thinking, cause yeah, I'm thinking an artist probably make something the outro, or it's maybe a switch up for like their new artist that they just signed, and then they would do something like that. But yeah, man. Other than that, man, I really didn't hear too much. Nothing like the switch up was so fire. I can almost feel silly kind of pointing out any little thing that I'm hearing. It's just that, dang, that just. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, good beat, man. Please, Volteezy, I hope you're out there marketing yourself, putting your music out there, possibly on BeatStars and things like that. If not BeatStars, you're DMing people. I'm working on a masterclass right now, guys, on how to sell beats on Instagram. And it's something that I've done quite a bit. So once I'm done with that masterclass, man, I hope I can help out some of you guys, man. Some of you, I know a lot of you guys are introverted and things like that. So I hope the gems in the masterclass are going to help you out. Still working on that. I'm almost, I don't have too much left on that one. So yeah, shout out to you, Volteezy, once again. All right, moving forward, we have another submission from Volteezy. This one is called Street Confession. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Voteezy with Street Confusions. I'm sorry, I said Street Confessions. Street Confusions. Shout out to you, man. Definitely, man. Voteezy, definitely a fire beat. Sounds very polished. You know how to you've been doing this for a while. You know how to pick the right kick with the right snare, with the right hi-hat, with the right piano and the right bass. You know how to put all of those elements together, and that tells me that's a developed ear of a producer. So you're definitely not new to producing, man. Very good beat. I was hearing Lil Durk on that one. As a matter of fact, man, I don't know if you use loops at all or if you're playing that stuff, but one of my Made in the Studio podcast guests, A.O. Blue, he does work with NBA Youngboy, Lil Durk. Guys, you can check out his episode on my podcast tab, A.O. Blue. So you might want to even hit up A.O. Blue and maybe you two can collab on some stuff because, you know, he has that Lil Durk NBA Youngboy sound, and I believe he has like his loop email out there, and I think that you two could probably make something really, really special together. So, you know, look him up. It's AYOBLEU. So I definitely think you two should link together and see what you guys can make. Other than that, I think I heard something here. Let me take a listen. It sounded like an. Let me take a listen. Okay, no. I thought I heard an out of key 808, but you're good to go. I know Voteezy would have been like, man, hell no, I ain't got no out of key 808. What you think I just started? Yeah, that's what Voteezy would have said if I would have said that's an out of key 808. He would have put me on blast. I know you would have, man. Now I'm messing around. But yeah, I can't put that on your name. If you don't have an out of key 808, I'm not gonna put that on your name. I've gotten close one time, and you know, sometimes I whip out my tools to make sure I'm checking y'all. You know, people say like people get G checked, you know what I'm saying, fit checked. You walk into a certain neighborhood, they're like, you know, where you from, where you coming from. That's what I'm doing with them 808s. If your 808s are out of key, I'm checking you. Like, what's that? What's that? Is that an out of key 808? We don't do that around here, player. We don't do that around here. So, you know, I'm not gonna put that on. You say, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, Voteezy. Thank you so much for submitting on the heat check. All right, moving forward, we have a regular here on the heat check. That is Dancing Main submitting his beat. This one is called Now or Never. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. gentlemen, Dancing Maine with Now or Never. Shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Dancing Maine. That beat, cool beat. Cool beat. Let me start by saying that. Cool beat. Good vibes, good feel, good texture. Now, one thing that was getting me with that beat was that little vocal sample that you had in there was definitely good, but something about, I'm not quite sure what song this from, but something about that vocal sample and how the artist was writing the beat, it gave me more of almost like a Memphis kind of bounce in my head. That's what I was thinking of. I was thinking like DJ Paul, and then the actual drum beat that you put in was more like, almost felt like a kind of like more of a harder East Coast type of beat. That's what I was hearing from the actual drum bounce that you put into this beat. I felt like I was just hearing like a bouncy Memphis type of bounce in my head. So it's just that contrast with that vocal and the expectations that vocal gave me, and then the beat itself was a little, threw me off a little bit. I think, of course, an artist can make something work with that. I don't think you'll have any problems. But I would put you to task, push you a little bit, and ask you to try experimenting with the drum bop a little bit, the drum bounce a little bit. I think you've gotten kind of comfortable with your signature drum programming, which is cool. Of course, a lot of our favorite producers have that signature sound, and we already, we know what to expect. But just try, push yourself a little bit, get yourself out of your comfort zone, and see what kind of results you could possibly get. I've had to push myself a number of times, and every time I push myself out my comfort zone, it's only caused me to grow. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for you to grow. And then you also have another skill set in your mind, your mental Rolodex to, pull out. I could pull out this bag. I'll pull out this bag. I don't really make Afrobeat like that, but I had an Afrobeat project that I made, and then it forced me to learn certain grooves and certain loose vibes and things like that, and to just do something out the norm. So I just want you to try that. Also, Dancing Maine, what I'm hearing in this beat, I can hear it's like your kick. Make sure you guys can see me. It's like your kick is here, and your bass is here too. So, yeah, let me see. All right, it's like your kick is here, and your bass is here. So there's not much of a contrast between the two. The kick and the bass are almost totally leveled, and it sounds like they're kind of loud on your mixer. So they're taking up a lot of space. What I want you to do is I want you to pull down. You can kick, but let's pull down the bass a little bit. That way we can get a little more dynamics. There could be more punch in the kick, and then the bass can live more so in the sub frequencies. Because right now they're up together. It doesn't create this nice punch impact and bass living in the sub frequencies. I want to hear more of that punch in the kick, and them being so close together and loud in the mixer is just causing a lack of dynamic punch. I want to hear some dynamic punch in your beat. So shout out to you, Dancing Maine. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right. Moving forward, we got another submission here from Dancing Maine. This one is 3 a.m. Freeway. All right, I'm going to go ahead and play this beat, mute my mic, and give my feedback. So let's take a listen. all right. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Dancing Main with 3 a.m. Freeway. Shout out to you, Dancing Main. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. Now, Dancing Main, that beat, I was hearing a lot of resonant frequencies in the sample. Let me play it. Oh, yeah, this. It's kind of a little jarring on the ears, so you could just do this is the thing with, you know, mixing in the beat making phase, is that we're not trying to be, you know, Grammy Award winning mixers. We just want to get things as pleasing to the ear as possible. So listen to this kind of piercing the ear. This has like a lot of like this. Yeah, that little piercing sound right there. Let's see. It already sounds better. Hey, listen to that. Yeah, listen to how much I took out the piercing frequencies with just this little dip right here. And I tell you guys, I made a video about this. You know, when you want to do a little dip, just make it sound a little worse. And then you're like, ooh, that really hurts. And then you just pull down. So you're like, okay, what's the part that I want to get rid of? You know, I think it's around here. No, is it around here? Yeah, that's right there. And then once you find it, boost it up, then pull it down, then A and B. Turn it off, on, off, on, off, on. And make sure you ask yourself, did I make it sound better or did I just make it sound different? You want to make sure you always tell yourself this actually sounds better. And if you have to, go ahead and cover your eyes and, you know, on, off, on, off. Okay, which one sounds better? Okay, that sounds better. So those are just little things, EQ tricks you could do. But yeah, that's just those piercing sounds and the sample was getting me. So let's do a little dipping around this like little 4K range. Just did a little dip there. And you can even take off more if you want to, but that part was like getting me. Other than that, it's like the bass and the verse part was just like, it just felt like one dimensional. It's like we never really got any type of. You had your moments where you did little breakdowns, but part of me wants to like hear something different from you. Like I want you to challenge. Like one thing I've really complimented you on, Dancing Main, is you've been able to challenge yourself genre wise. So you've, you know, given me some R&B, you've given me some, you know, hip hop, of course. You give me a lot of different things, but one part I want to challenge you on and push back on you with is particularly like your drum bounce. I feel like you're really comfortable with what you do. Sometimes it's really cool, but I want you to just experiment with different bounces, experiment with different bops. And also sometimes like your bass lines like this. I feel like you're very comfortable making bass lines like this. Maybe it's not the bass line's like, maybe it's, you know, maybe something like that. Maybe you're playing around with it a little bit more. I just want you to try different things, you know, so because sometimes I feel like you have something and going sample wise and structure wise, then you're just like, let me go for what I know, you know. And sometimes it works, and sometimes I get left desiring more. So let's you know, try that, put that in your mental Rolodex, and you know, keep cooking up, man. You definitely fire dancing, man. You already know that. Thank you so much for submitting right here on the Heat Check. All right, ladies and gentlemen, looks like that was the last submission for this Friday show. Like I said,
Next Friday, we're doing the Heat Check 1 year anniversary. One whole freaking year, man. Man, before I used to stream, man, I used to get nervous. I'm like, oh man, like what's gonna happen? Man, people gonna show up, what's gonna happen if I get some trolls. Now, I've had some trolls here, trolls there. Now, like, I'm Teflon now. That stuff is just like I eat it, so that's what it is. So it's been a great journey, one whole year, man. And that's crazy. So I appreciate the love, guys. Yolando and Monly, thank you so much for joining the stream. So next Friday, we're going to do the 1 year anniversary show. Got to think of something cool to do. I might actually do it a little bit earlier. I'm just brainstorming this weekend for different ideas. I know definitely I want to give out some type of prize for the 1 year anniversary stream. So you guys look out for that. Look out for announcements. I'm probably going to open up the form, the free form after the stream. And I'm going to brainstorm over the weekend for some cool stuff for us to do for next Friday's show. So you guys be on the lookout for that. Thank you for all the producers who showed up to this stream. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you for trusting me with your music. Guys, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com to get some free loops, FL Studio Patcher plugins, free guides. If you guys need more help, you enjoyed this stream, make sure you go to DesmondASounds.com and you can check out my one-on-one coaching option where we just jump on a Zoom call. We can talk about branding, YouTube, beats, working with artists, selling beats, engineering, whatever you want to learn from me. We could jump on a Zoom call and, do it that way if you need more help. So yes. Claps for everyone. Yes. All right. I definitely appreciate that, guys. Appreciate that. So I'll see you guys on next Friday's show. Check out all the cool stuff on my YouTube channel. Catch up on some podcast episodes if you have not seen them. I'll see you guys next Friday. My name is Desmond A. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see y'all. 1 year anniversary show next Friday. Can you believe it?